And we're really excited to have Jim Riddle here. He's got a great program ahead, and he has a great background in organics. He was the founding chair of the Independent Organic Inspectors Association and co-author of the IFOMA/IOIA, International Organic Inspection Manual. He's trained hundreds of organic inspectors and served on the Minnesota Department of Agriculture's Organic Advisory Task Force. Just to highlight a few of his accomplishments, he was named the University of Minnesota's Organic Outreach Coordinator, and he's also former chair of the USDA's National Organic Standards Board. So we're very excited to hear him, and so we're going to go ahead and turn the time over to him. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Amy, and thanks all of you for coming out tonight. I live over by Winona, and we were getting snow all day today, so we got about another 3 or 4 inches today. So once I got out my driveway and got onto I-90, then I was okay getting over here today. But really pleased that you came out. I just want to point out, I put in the back some materials there, and the stacks where there's multiple copies, those are available free of charge. But if there's just one copy, just leave it there for display. But invite you to take a look at that when I'm done, and we'll have some time for discussion and questions. But if you have a question as I'm going along, just raise your hand or shout out, because I like to deal with things while they're fresh on your mind. And I was raised on a farm in central Iowa and did organic produce in the Winona area for quite a few years, and was actually founder of the Winona Farmers Market back in the mid-'80s, which is still going strong, but I no longer sell, but still raise a huge garden, and we put up a lot of food and things like that. So I'll go ahead and just get started with the ABCs of organic agriculture. And just so you understand kind of the framework, the word organic is now regulated here in the U.S. It all started with the 1990 Farm Bill, included what was called the Organic Foods Production Act. But that took many years. I'm not going to run through all of that, but it took quite a while before it was finally implemented in 2002. And it's called the final rule, but it's never final like anything in the government. There's changes, amendments, so it has been amended just about every year since it was implemented. But it does set a pretty complete set of requirements, and that's what I'm just going to summarize tonight, what those requirements are and what the label claims mean, and then also share some of the most recent research that's come out in the last year or so about organic products. So this is the USDA organic seal now that you see on products in the grocery stores or food co-ops. That particular label can only be used on 2 categories of organic products, the top 2. And there's really 3 different ways you'll find the word organic on the front of a processed product. The product could be called 100% organic. And if that's the label, then everything in it has to be 100% organic, and even any processing aids that were used also have to be organic for that category. And like I said, that can have the USDA seal or the certification agency seal on the front. But that USDA seal that I showed, it's optional. Someone gets certified as organic, they have the right to use it, but they don't have to. So what's really regulated is the word organic, and then the seal is optional beyond that. But many companies are choosing to use the seal because consumers, it's easy to recognize, and they find it on products. Most of the products are in this category called organic food. It's not 100%, has to be at least 95% organic ingredients. And there's a remaining, that 5% have to be what's called on the national list. They can have to be approved by the board that I used to serve on. The National Organic Standards Board has to review and take public comment, and it has to have a 2/3 vote and make a recommendation to the USDA, and then they'll place it on the national list of allowed ingredients. And that's why that slide a couple of slides ago showed the amendments over time. That's additional things have been added to this national list when they get petitioned. So that has to be at least 95% to be called an organic salsa, organic cereal, or whatever. So you know that if the product is called organic, that it has at least 95% organic content, and the remaining stuff all have to be approved on the national list. Now there's this third category called made with organic ingredients. So you might have salsa that's made with organic tomatoes and peppers. Well, it's not organic salsa. That would have to be 95% organic to be called organic salsa. But it could be salsa made with organic specific ingredients, tomatoes and peppers. Well, then if that's the case, then those organic ingredients have to be at least 70% of the product to carry that made with organic claim on the front. These type of products cannot carry that USDA seal. So when you see the USDA seal, it's things only in these two categories. And then, but there is this third category, and none of these products contain any genetically engineered ingredients. None of the crops were grown using sewage sludge as a fertilizer, and none of them were irradiated. None of the ingredients were irradiated. So who has to be certified? Well, any organic farmer or processor, I use the word handler, processor, back and forth, that sells over $5,000 a year of organic products has to be certified. So a small farmer selling at the farmer's market could claim organic legally so long as they're under that $5,000 a year sale. But they don't have to be certified, but they have to still follow the regulation. So if there was a complaint, they would still have to prove that they are meeting the same rules as everybody else. The only thing they're exempt from is having to get certified. And that was written right into the law, a small farmer exemption, it was called. Now retailers, nowadays you see organic products at Target and Walmart, and but certainly Hy-Vee, Cub Foods, grocery stores. Those retailers don't have to be certified. And if somebody just uses the word organic on the back of a product in the ingredient statement, they don't have to be certified to do that. But to make a front panel claim, they have to be certified. And then if they're a warehouse that doesn't repackage product, that type of operation doesn't have to be certified. But really everybody else in the chain, all the farmers, the crop farmers, the livestock farmers, the processors, the milk bottlers, cheese plants, all have to be certified to pass on that word organic. And this is a little dry, but what USDA really, they don't send inspectors out to the farms. What they do is accredit certification agencies that then send people like me. When I used to work as an inspector for 20 years, so I would work under a certifier, and that agency would get certified by USDA or accredited by USDA. So they deputize these agencies to then carry out the federal law. And there's 95 of those agencies currently. About 50 of them, 55, are located in the U.S., and about 40 of them are outside of our borders that are accredited to certify to our regulation. And any product sold as organic in this country has to be produced and processed according to our regulation, regardless of where in the world it was grown or processed. And there's certain categories. There's crops, wild crops, livestock, or processing. And that's the website, and it'll be again up on the last slide for the USDA's National Organic Program. And that's where the regulation is housed and all sorts of bureaucratic information.